From NBC Studios in New York, it's Late Night with Conan O'Brien. Tonight, Martin Sheen, supermodel Rajumba, Afro-Celt sound system, and the press takes on the Heston. With Andy Richter and the Mac, Wyvern 7. Now, here's your host, Conan O'Brien.
Were you going to keep that up if I kept doing that for an hour? That would be so annoying to our viewers who are trying to sleep, when you think about it. Welcome to the show. We got a fine program for you tonight, worthy of the name Late Night with Conan O'Brien, and that means nothing. Big old show this evening. Much to discuss, though, right here at the top. This show, as you know, we broadcast from New York City. That's where you are right now, folks. And New York City's in the news today. You want me to tell you about this? Thanks. Okay. I have two of you who are willing to hear about it. New York City, this is a big story. New York City is in the news because it's making a bid to host the 2012 Summer Olympics. And if New York gets the Summer Olympics, one of the sites, apparently, and this is true, for the rowing competition would be the Hudson River. That's true. They're going to have a rowing event on the Hudson River. That's right. Yeah, there's also going to be a new rowing event called the Used Condom Relay, which you might want to check out. That's the worst idea I've ever heard. Yesterday, at Disney World's brand new sports complex, I don't know if you know this, but John Rocker pitched his first baseball game since he was suspended. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, then right after the game, Rocker drove over to the theme park and accused Donald Duck and Goofy of being queer. Which... And in fairness, they are, you know. According to a brand new study, this is really weird, the part of the brain, this is true, that deals with navigation is larger among cab drivers than any other people. This is true. A study shows it's larger in cab drivers than any other kind of people because they use that part more. That's what they say. Yeah, and for the same reason, the study shows that cab drivers have larger middle fingers, which I had to share that with. Because of that. Last thing I'll mention, it's been reported that next month, this is big entertainment news, Elton John and Elizabeth Taylor are going to be hosting a lingerie fashion show for charity. Elton John, Liz Taylor hosting a lingerie fashion show for charity. Yeah, apparently Elton John and Elizabeth Taylor will raise millions of dollars by threatening to put the lingerie on, which I thought was, Pavlov would be proud. All right, let's get the show started, folks. We got a big one for you. From the program tonight, The West Wing. Big old hit for NBC, and there aren't a lot of those lately. I'm talking about the president, Mr. Martin Sheen, is on the show. Martin Sheen. Right? That's fair to say. That's a fair comment. That wasn't wrong. NBC is in the toilet. We also have a, not a model. We were going to have a model on the show, and then I said, you know what, let's make this a good show. Let's get a supermodel. Thanks for believing that that conversation actually happened. I'm talking about Rashumba on the program. Rashumba's here. And then we got musical guest tonight, Afro-Celt Sound System, going to perform for you. They combine the best of this world. And right over here, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Vivino and the 7, Max Weinberg 7s. Jimmy, good to see you. What's going on? We have a,
They're all messed up here.
You know what? I don't even... They dress me just before I come out.
I know.
It's like a little child.
There.
I should go back to clip-ons. The first couple of years of the show.
Uh-huh.
Clip-ons and paint-on pants. It was so much easier. It was so much easier back then.
And you had that booth.
I had a weird thing happen to me the other night.
What was that?
I went to a restaurant, okay, which is weird in itself. I don't go out a lot.
I bet it was a real swanky joint, too.
That's right. It was
Nothing but the best for you, boss.
It was the finest. It was the finest of the uptown Arby's. And I went to this restaurant. It was a nice restaurant. And I start. One of the hosts of The View, the show The View, Joy Behar, was at the next table, and she's been on our show a couple times.
Right.
She's a funny lady.
Yeah.
She says hi, and we start chatting and start talking, and then Joy Behar says, you know, we're talking across the tables, you know, and it's kind of fun. We're having a good time. And she says, where are you from, by the way? And I said, I'm from Brookline, which is right outside Boston, from Brookline, Massachusetts. And this guy at the table right next to us, another table, says, I'm from Brookline, too. And this guy is sitting there, and he's eating this wonderful feast. He's eating, like, roast duck, and he's got a glass of wine, and he's got a napkin tucked in, and he's got, like, these nice side dishes, and he's got the wine in, like, you know, on the table, and it's, like, really nice. And he says, I'm from Brookline, too. And I said, oh, that's great. You're from Brookline? Yeah, I live there still. And I said, what are you doing in New York? And he said, my daughter's across the street. She's at the hospital. She's in labor. And then what the hell are you doing here? And he's like, a guy's got to eat.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but you're having like a 5-course, 2-hour meal over here. And, yeah, that's her problem.
Yeah. That's what doctors are for.
This is,
What can I do?
What am I going to do about it? So I joined him. We had a good time.
Or you rushed over to hold her hand, hold his daughter's hand.
Yeah. So what about you? You get out much? you go to nice restaurants occasionally,
yeah,
right?
occasionally, pretty much.
Do you go to the fancy joints, or do you like to keep it simple?
Well, I actually lately we've been keeping it real low key because my wife and I both have attempting to quit smoking again. So
you can't go.
It just means we're just sealed in our bunker,
right?
You know, so that we have no temptation. Because there's cigarettes out there.
Right.
You leave the house, people throw cigarettes at you.
They do not.
Yes, they do. It seems like it.
That's a new gang initiation.
Yeah.
Is throw an unlit cigarette at someone.
And then light it for you. Then they pull on your diaphragm to make you inhale.
Yeah.
So I got to stay home.
Have you tried the patch?
I'm using the gum. I'm using the Nicorette gum.
Right. Can you chew the patch, or that doesn't work?
No. You can if you want.
I will try that when I start smoking.
Okay.
Well, you know, we should stop screwing around, because we got serious stuff to talk about tonight.